This is Atlantic Time. Spends Fubara for 6 months. Governor Soludo seeks Nnamdi Kanu's release. Tinubu appoints Kuka as Kaduna Varsity Pro-Chancellor. Court dismisses NNPCL objection to Dangote. Refineries 100 billion naira suits. ECOWAS seeks stronger regional response to food crisis. Super Eagles Kigali camp gets 22 players for 2026 World Cup. Singer Timaya decries herdsmen destruction of farmlands. President Bola Tinubu has declared a state of emergency in Rivers State. Tinubu made this pronouncement in a nationwide broadcast to the nation. The president said he was greatly disturbed about the political crisis in the state and accused Governor Siminalayi Fubara of demolishing the State House of Assembly building and has decided to declare a state of emergency from March 18. The decision comes hours after Tinubu met with his service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, and the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, also arrived at the forecourt of the Presidential Villa. Rivers State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of 2 persons in connection with the explosion that rocked the Shell Petroleum Development Company operated by Trans-Niger Delta Pipeline. This is coming after the incident occurred Monday night till Tuesday morning at the border of Bo and Bodo communities in Kukana local government area of the state. Confirming the incident, the police public relations officer of the command, SP Grace Irene Koko, said in a statement that a thorough investigation to determine the cause of the explosion, which resulted in an inferno, has commenced to uncover any indicators of criminal activities are identified and brought to justice. The police urge residents to remain calm. Manifold and do Oma Riwa axis of Ogba Egbema and Ndoni local government area of Rivers State on Tuesday. This comes just hours after a similar explosion rocked the Trans-Niger pipeline operated by Shell in Bodo, Gukana local government area. The latest incident reportedly occurred at a manifold connecting a federal pipeline deep inside the forest, and the pipeline transports crude oil to Brass in Bayelsa State. The spokesperson for the Rivers State Police Command, Grace Irene Koko, said investigations are ongoing. Meanwhile, some Ijo youths on Tuesday blocked the Ahoda axis of the east-west road leading to Bayelsa State in protest and carrying placards in solidarity with Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara amid his political feud with the State House of Assembly. Political analysts say the executive arm of government should be answerable to the people and take responsibility for their actions by making decisions based on what is.
It is about the person that will come back tomorrow to do the same thing, and people begin to think that they haven't done that is becoming law. When, you see, there is something one man said, he said, I think
alleged negligence, intimidation, and continued detention of one of their leaders, Eugene Wangbo, and the protest was staged by a group under the aegis of OBT Liberation Council, alleging that the oil company slides away from meeting its responsibilities. Leading the protest, Vice Chairman of the Council, Nzubechi Godswill Osai, said the recent event which warranted the protest was the arrest of the leader of the group, Wangbo, who he said was arrested and detained in Abuja while attending the meeting along with other community leaders. Osai alleged that it has been the character of the oil company to always use aggressive approach in addressing community issues and urged the oil company to face the realities as well as focus on the welfare of the community, mostly in the area of meaningful engagement of the youth and tackling the issue of environmental pollution orchestrated by its oil exploration activities. In his speech, Secretary of the group, Ihain Ohaji, said that the oil company had no intention to develop the community, stressing that gas emission and spilling ought to have been converted to gas lights to generate electricity for the entire community as done in other areas, and accused the company also of not keeping corporate governance relationship with the host communities and stakeholders. Imo State Police Command, in synergy with other security agencies, has assured the Christian community and other religious bodies of adequate security across churches, mosques, and other religious centers in the state. A press statement by the command spokesperson, DSP Henry Okoye, informed that the reassurance was given by the Commissioner of Police, CP Aboki Danjuma, during his visit to Verbum Domini Pilgrimage and Retreat Center, Obinze, a facility owned by the Catholic Archdiocese of Owerri. Okoye said the police commissioner recognized concerns about the center's location near forested areas, but assured that strategic security measures have been implemented to safeguard worshippers, adding that the command has intensified operations across the state to tackle kidnapping, armed robbery, and other crimes, while reaffirming the command's commitment to public safety and also assured residents that the state remains secure for all. The command spokesperson also said the police commissioner used the occasion to urge religious and community leaders to support security efforts by providing useful information and reassured worshippers at the pilgrimage center that proactive measures have been put in place and there is no cause for fear. The statement further said the Imo State Police Command remains steadfast in its commitment to ensuring the safety and security of all residents. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo says there is no competent opponent opposing his re-election in the November 8, 2025 governorship poll. Soludo said there is a consensus among Ndi Anambra that his party, the All Progressives Grand Alliance, has delivered dividends of democracy and should be given another chance in the next election. He disclosed this in a statement to celebrate his third anniversary, stressing that the people of the Southeast states can vote for any party during national elections, but are loyal to ABGA when it comes to governorship and local government chairman seats. The former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria also said he has gotten calls to run for a second term, but his party will take the decision on who becomes the flag bearer. In recent times, Anambra State has been described as one of the 8 states where governorship elections are held off-season due to litigations and court judgments, including Bayelsa, Edo, Ekiti, Imo, Kogi, Osun, and Ondo states. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo says the release of the indigenous people of Biafra leader Nnamdi Kanu has no connection to insecurity in the southeast. Speaking during a media chat to mark his third year in office, Soludo, who has been advocating for Kanu's release, said the issue should be viewed separately from security concerns in the region and called for Kanu's freedom, which according to him is based on the need for broader discussions about the future of the Igbo people, while insecurity in the region stems from criminal activities. He also accused Simon Ekpa, a self-proclaimed IPOB leader, of hijacking the situation and turning it into a killing spree, adding that Simon Ekpa, who claimed to have succeeded Nnamdi Kanu as IPOB leader, was arrested in Finland last November by local police on charges of inciting terrorism. This is coming after Kanu has been in the custody of the Department of State Services since 2021, following his arrest in Kenya by the Nigerian government, while many have argued that his release could help curb insecurity in the region. Lagos State Special Offences Court in Ikeja has adjourned the fraud trial of the former managing director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, Ahmed Kuru, and 4 other defendants to March 19, 2025. The defendants are accused of defrauding Arik Air of 76 billion naira and $31.5 million respectively. While Justice Mojisola Dada set their judgment date after hearing testimony from the first prosecution witness, Mr. Peter Omokaro, a former employee of Union Bank PLC. The other defendants in the case include Kamilu Omokide, a former receiver manager of Arik Air Limited, Captain Roy, and etc. Lagos State Special Offences Court in Ikeja has adjourned the fraud trial of the former managing director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, Ahmed Kuru, and 4 other defendants to March 19, 2025. The defendants are accused of defrauding Arik Air of 76 billion naira and $31.5 million respectively, while Justice Mojisola Dada sets the adjournment date after hearing testimony from the first prosecution witness, Mr. Peter Omokaru, a former employee of Union Bank PLC. The other defendants in the case include Kamilu Omokide, a former receiver manager of Arik Air Limited, Captain Roy, the airline CEO, Union Bank Limited, and Super Bravo Limited, and the suspects are facing 6 charges related to theft, abusing of office, and stealing by dishonestly taking the property of another, which were brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. All defendants pleaded not guilty to the charges and were granted bail in the sum of 20 million naira each, but one surely of like sum, while the judge adjourned the case to March 19, 2025, the communication of the trial. Lagos State Government has partnered with the National Identity Management Commission and the National Social Safety Net Coordinating Office to enhance the accuracy of the National Social Register to improve social intervention programs. This is coming when the Lagos State Government embarked on a 3-day training for field personnel for an update on the social register as it plans to leverage the national identification number for efficient delivery of intervention programs. A statement said in Ikeja that the Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, Olayinka Ojo, that the register would allow a unique identity to be assigned to beneficiaries in order to ensure social inclusion and transparency. She also said the primary objectives of the training included are not limited to certifying the trainees who are the front-end enrollment partners with the NIMC in facilitating the NIN, I beg your pardon, government's goal of intervention beneficiaries to their unique identities, reducing double dipping and promoting transparency. He said Lagos was strategically positioned for the initiative, which would ensure credibility to the register, promote transparency, accountability, facilitate beneficiaries' access to interventions, and enhance tracking of both vulnerable households and government expenditure in the social protection space. The Lagos State Coordinator, NIMC, Olumide Aremu, stressed the impact of data harmonization for tracking the impact of interventions. Justice Yetunde Pinheiro of the Lagos State High Court has reserved judgment in the lawsuit filed by the reinstated Speaker of the House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, who is challenging the legality of the January 19, 2025 proceedings that led to his initial removal. The judge had several preliminary objections by various counsel representing the defendant and said the dates to deliver the judgments and rulings would be communicated to parties in due course. Earlier, when the matter came, Obasa's counselor, Professor Joshua Olatoke, urged the court to assume jurisdiction to hear the matter and argued that the House was in recess at the time the bankers convened. and was not duly informed by either the Speaker of the Majority Leader, who has the power to reconvene any session during recess. However, Counsel for the Assembly, Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, opposed the suit brought by way of originating summons, adding that the proceedings of January 13, 2025 were valid. Having been held in the Assembly and the decision taken to remove the Speaker was taken by more than the Constitution. Analyst has criticized jungle justice in a society where democracy plays a major role on the fundamental rights of citizens and warned Nigerians not to take the law into their own hands. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowout, public affairs analyst Eyimosa Mufasa said, in a civil society where angry mob attack offenders is not the legal solution to seek justice.
The victim, that could equally elicit the kind of response and reaction that you got from the mob. Like I've said before,
It's a 9:30, go close, 9:30.
Mufasa recommends strategic deployment of police officers to prevent escalation of issues and timely arrest of criminals.
at all places, because before it gets to that level, I'm sure the guy must have been caught. The noise, the pandemonium, and all of that. I'm sure if we had police officers stationed at strategic location around that area, before it would have led to that stage where the guy, would sustain such grievous injury that would have led to his death. The police would have intervened and actions, is taking place. It's usually gotten out of hand. So for me, it's a two-way thing, that's this.
We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll continue with the rest of the stories.
Welcome to total control of your data, your airtime. Mom, I'll call you back. How you buy? I'll send you data. How you share and how you recharge. Movies! Welcome to More Valley. Download the upgraded Glow Cafe app and get more data. Get 100% recharge bonus and get a massive 100 gigabytes data bonus when you register. Want it all? Download all this into this.
Thank you for staying with us. Minister of FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has redirected the Federal Capital Development Authority to ensure the immediate and full payment of compensation to residents affected by the Gishiri demolition. Wike gave the directive during a meeting with members of the community at his official residence on 17th March 2025 in Abuja. The meeting followed a demolition exercise supervised by the minister to clear structures obstructing the construction of Arteria Road number 16, linking the community with the Kantampi district.
It is not everything that government does that everybody will like. It's not. So, I have to preach. Let them pay the money. Let them give where I say to the education. Look at how. So, it's for you know, civil servants. And look, it's not a government. You know, I need government. I'm a politician. I want the thing to be done now. You know, civil servants, you know how to do it. And there are people. You should be able to do it. I want to do this. I know what, coming from the city, I know the implication. So that's the worst. We got why do you go for this? This is like a kind of freedom to this case. Those rights are not about there. But you, being you right. That's who we and it's sacrifice. So I'm sorry for whatever you take that.
Minister, and that the department refused to pay non-indigents any compensation despite having their houses demolished.
Most of the places you said you have of recent, the places you mentioned, the places we pointed out are not the ones they are giving us. Rather, they are taking us to some swamping areas and some river side, which we looked at it. Okay. Yes, sir. And they are owned by 50, 20 people, so for them to take it from them, it will be difficult for them. So they are looking for the one that has minor people that at least even though they take it to court, they can be able to do something about it. And that's okay. If this road is for the public interest has affected our community, then we as a community, we are more than those people. Why can't you take their own and give to us since our own case is public interest? Since our own case is public interest, sometimes when we ask them the question, they choose not to give us the answer the way it is.
Nobody has that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Wike promised to revisit the location to see for himself and to resolve the compensation issues amicably by ensuring that all affected persons are fully compensated and relocated. President Bola Tinubu has appointed the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Kuka, as the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of the Federal University of Applied Sciences, Kachia, Kaduna State. Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who revealed this in a statement he signed titled President Tinubu appoints Bishop Kuka as Pro-Chancellor of Federal University of Applied Sciences, Kachia. The appointment comes barely 33 days after Tinubu ordered that the federal government to take over Nok University, Kachia, Kaduna State, and transform it into a federal university, and following the directive, the private institution was renamed Federal University of Applied Sciences, Kachia, from its old name, Nok University. According to Onanuga, the president also appointed principal officers for the university, including Professor Kurix Barnabas as vice-chancellor, Sanusi Adamu as registrar, Ibrahim Dalhat as bossa, and Professor Daniel Abubakar as university librarian. The presidency says all the appointees were carefully selected based on their distinguished careers, leadership experience, and dedication to advancing education in Nigeria, while Tinubu implored the new appointees to use their collective expertise to position the university as a hub for academic excellence and research, aligning with the administration's renewed hope agenda. He also urged them to provide visionary leadership and lay a solid foundation for the university's growth as it prepares to admit its first cohort of students in September 2025. Vice President Kashim Shettima has charged the National Assembly to uphold the sacred responsibility of leadership, prioritize unity and national development over political divisions and partisan interests. He made the call when President Bola Tinubu hosted the leadership and members of the House of Representatives at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Shettima, who spoke on behalf of President Tinubu, also urged lawmakers to embrace their responsibility with humility and a shared commitment to progress in the noble task of nation building. Reflecting on the significance of Ramadan, which coincides with a Lenten season, the Vice President called for deep introspection and a reaffirmation of commitment to Nigeria's utility and urged them to choose stability over strife, collaboration over conflicts, and dialogue as well as disagreements, Shettima said. The government's economic policies were yielding results, adding that the economy has turned the corner and laughed the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, and the House leadership for fostering harmony with the legislature. Shettima urged the leaders to govern with empathy, fairness, and justice, reminding them that their positions were a sacred trust of the Nigerian people. Earlier, Abbas thanked President Tinubu for the invitation to breakfast with him and for always showing respect and concern for the House of Representatives, adding that Nigerians knew what the Tinubu administration had achieved within just 2 years, and the period offered a moment for every Nigerian to reflect and pray for the country. Senate has established a 9-member ad hoc committee to investigate the alleged illegal annexation of Nigerian territory by neighboring Cameroon. The decision follows a motion sponsored by Senator Anyeka Mbasi, who highlighted the loss of 16 essential communities and 2,500 oil wells in Akwa Ibom State due to 2002 World Court judgment. The motion also highlighted that the illegal annexation violates multiple international agreements.
Severely limited FEMA's capacity to maintain and rehabilitate federal roads, leading to the deterioration of road infrastructure, increased accidents, higher vehicle maintenance costs, and economic losses. Also concerned that the defunct PPRA justified its own non-compliance by arguing that implementing the 5% user charge will increase fuel prices despite
situations in their various states. Other lawmakers also expressed dismay over the implementation of the ICJ judgment, describing it as one-sided and called for a total review.
Reverted to the clerks of both houses for confirmation to ensure that the final version of the bills accurately reflects the intentions of the National Assembly before transmission to the President for assent. Also aware that adopting the resolution of the House of Representatives will demonstrate its commitment to transparency, accountability, and the rule of law, ultimately strengthening the legislative process and reinforcing public trust in the National Assembly.
The lawmakers thereafter resolved the Senator Jimo Ibrahim-led ad hoc committee to urge President Bola Tinubu to take immediate steps to safeguard Nigeria's territorial waters, including securing over 2,560 oil wells identified within disputed mangrove islands in Akwa Ibom State. Senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti, wants to resist all attempts of victimization. Akpoti Oduagan disclosed an encounter with Akpabio at his home while her husband was walking behind us, and Akpabio was holding her hand and questioned what it means when a man squeezes the hand of a woman in a suggestive way. When asked if Akpabio had made advances towards her inside the Senate chamber, she recalled another incident when she rushed to work and forgot to wear her ring, and there were about 5 senators there, and Akpabio said to her. Reacting to her claims, the Senate's Deputy Chief Whip, Oyekachi Nwaiboyi, denied that Akpabio ever made sexual advances towards Akpoti Uduaga and dismissed her claim that the Senate was trying to silence her. House of Representatives has mandated the clerk to the National Assembly to revert all authenticated bills to the clerks of the Senate and House of Representatives for confirmation before final transmission to the President.
Most severe assault happened on Friday night, where the bandits struck while people were asleep, opening fire indiscriminately. Many ran into the bush, while some were not so lucky. Aware that the attack by the armed herdsmen has caused immense suffering, trauma, and devastation to the affected families and the community at large.
The House has set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the status of the 5% user charge owed to FEMA, with a report expected in 4 weeks. In a motion moved by Honorable Frederick Agbedi, recall that in 2016, the Senate directed PPPRA to remit 634 billion naira to FEMA for unremitted funds from 2007 to 2015. But no clear evidence of full disbursement exists. He said in 2019 and argued there was no evidence that the lawmakers had met the legal requirements. Minority Whip on Ali Issa stressed that defections should be taken seriously and urged the lawmakers to either withdraw their letters or face illegal action. The move is part of a broader trend in the 10th House of Representatives, where over 10 lawmakers have switched parties to join the APC since the House's inauguration. House of Representatives heard reading the 4 tax reforms bills sent to the National Assembly in October 2024 by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This comes after the House had at plenary last Thursday considered and approved the report of the House Committee on Finance that worked on the bills and the submissions. House of Representatives has directed the Standards Organization of Nigeria to take decisive action against the circulation of fake products and substandard building materials in the Nigerian market. The House has mandated its committees, all industry and trade, to investigate allegations that SON reversed its decision to shut down 18 companies found guilty of producing and distributing substandard building materials, particularly on iron rods. The resolution followed the motion of urgent public importance raised by Honorable Billy Osawaru.
Materials has sent numerous lives to their early grave, and it is very regrettable to state that at least 3 buildings have collapsed in different states within January 2025, leading to several deaths and casualties, which is a clear indication that the Standard Organization of Nigeria, otherwise known as SON, has not done enough to prevent further occurrence.
The committees are to report their findings within 4 legislative weeks. In a related development, the House of Representatives has strongly condemned the recent killings and invasion of communities in Ondo State by suspected herdsmen. The Green Chamber also urged the federal government to establish a security base in the affected areas to protect residents and prevent further attacks for the third reading